Your YouTube. What's going on? For those who don't know me, my name is Swizz Media X. I'm a media commentator, and welcome. And for those who does know me and been subscribed to me, welcome back. Also, hit this like button and check out this video. On today's topic, I'm doing a reaction video to what's going on the Hollywood crisis with the writer strikes. You see, recently the Hollywood elites has been undercutting their employees, and now basically the writers, certain producers, certain actors, people that's not getting paid that much, because a lot of people's not getting paid that much. So now they, with their union, they going on strike. They're going against the studios and the elites and corporations, and they're not making no projects. They're not making no videos, no content, no nothing like that until this issue get resolved. And honestly, I wasn't going to do a reaction video to this because I hate the Hollywood elite, but at the same time, I'm an aspiring actor. Like, when I was young, I used to act. And truth be told, in a couple years from now, I'm trying to be like, a producer. I'm trying to produce my own stuff. I'm trying to be like an anime script writer. And I want to be a voice actor too. So it's like I want to do a lot of stuff that's involved in that type of world, in that type of field, industry. That's why it was important for me to spread this awareness. And people, we should all be with these people that's on strike. We should be with them, not against them. Because this is about to change the whole dynamic about creating content. Your favorite shows may not be on, or maybe delayed for a couple years until the situation get wrapped up. That's why I decided to do this video, you know what I'm saying? Talk about it. Do, 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 do.
Ready, set, get to Kohl's for
They
clearance
won't go
savings
back
too good
unless
to
the
miss.
contracts
Save
change
up to
and they
seven-
get more percentage
wherever I
and
go
they
who are not in the business say
royalties.
thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, I don't know what you
Because
call that
we're
specific.
on the front lines, but everybody that's employed is right behind us.
Also, like this video and subscribe.
Yeah, we're definitely not back at the table, and nobody has picked up the phone to call me. I mean, I know that he's involved in hearing what's going on with the WGA, but I'm not really understanding what the silent treatment is anyway. I don't get that. I don't know why it took almost 100 days for them to speak to the WGA, and I can't even begin to guess.
You see this
What
right
it
here,
is.
she's the president. Her name is Fran Drescher. Well, I don't know, that's what it says right here. But she's the president of SAG Ultra. It's a entertainment production company that hires from actors to producers to hairdressers to backup dancers and to dancers. You know what I'm saying? They do it all. It's like the whole production system. This is their company, and basically this is her company, and there's a union. She's running the company, and they on strike. Over 11,000 people across the United States is on strike for this, including so many people in Los Angeles,
But I do
because they're trying to get a fair pay.
Firsthand experience tells me that they're very tactical people. You know, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. They could be arguing amongst themselves. You know, basically they're in competition with each other, and then they came together to do this collective bargaining. But in reality, they're in opposition of each other, each one trying to do better than the other. So when they come together in a room, it doesn't necessarily make for the best kind of group collective decision.
Continues. The talks are back on between the Hollywood writers and studios.
Yeah, but no one seems to know how this drama is going to end. KCAL News reporter Tom Wade is here with the latest on the negotiations stuff.
And every day, our hopes get really high, and then it's like, no worries. I know.
So yesterday, some studio executives told the press that they were planning on waiting.
Woman gets humbled.
So yesterday, some studio executives told the press that they were planning on waiting out the Writers Guild until October, when writers will lose our apartments and homes and become homeless, and then be forced to come back to the table and take a bad deal. Now, first of all, I cannot believe that they said this. They took the mask off. They told on themselves bigger than anyone I have ever seen. But also, they are dead fucking wrong, because writers are in this for the long haul. We have a strike fund that we use to support other writers who are on hard times. We are raising money for crew members and other people affected by the strike. And most importantly, we know that if we do not get a fair deal, we will not have jobs to go back to. So we are not going to leave this picket line. We are going to keep withholding our labor until the companies come back to the table and make a fair deal. And they're going to do that. You know why? Because they...
I want to see if I could find somebody this in that entertainment company. Feel me? But let me see. Ooh.
Now this is an upgrade. And away we go.
Yeah, I thought people in those industries, from writers to producers to executive to road runner to all the position they have, I thought there was
Writers
all
in Hollywood
six-figure
are resuming negotiations with the studios on Friday.
six-digit
Today, so far both
jobs,
sides
but
have
it's
been
not. And whatever they're getting
far
paid on
apart
the
with
monthly when they're
revenue
not
sharing
working, it's
playing a
barely
central
enough.
role.
Strike in March, strike in March, March in March, April in May, June in July. What the heck am I doing here? Let's do this.
Actor Dan Garza and his puppet Jeff have joined the writers' strike, a strike that many here believe will stretch well into the fall, disrupting the new season on TV, dashing movie marketing campaigns, and creating more economic fallout as writers and studios remain far apart on most issues.
Well, we'll be here forever, but at some
Look,
point
a
the studio...
screenwriter, from screenwriters to from basically everybody that's in the entertainment business in this specific company, if they're not like a major actor like a Tom Cruise, if there's somebody regular that get paid either $50,000 or less or around that range, they're there protesting. They want more because they feel like now with the studios and the companies, they're giving them more work, less pay, more hours, less royalties. It's like basically they're getting fucked in the ass by keep working in that system. So now they're trying to shake up the whole system, but the elites, the people that run Hollywood, they're not trying to pay them more. The people that make Hollywood, the CEOs, they all make billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're not even trying to give them a 2% pay raise.
Have to,
it's crazy, right?
Get serious. They have to stop talking about how much money they're making and pay.
I mean, this doesn't just affect the writers and the performers. It affects everybody. Costumes and makeup and hair and our grips and our union folks, they're all not working too. And then all of the people who sell stuff, you know, like all of the distribution people and all those, it affects everybody.
The Writers Union argues that series for streaming services tend to be shorter than shows made for TV. For writers, it means less work and smaller paychecks. On average, income for Hollywood writers is almost $70,000 a year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Economists have estimated the
It's a whole
financial
shit
toll,
show,
including
and I still
lost
can't believe that.
compensation, at more than $3 billion.
That whole situation is a whole shit show, and I still can't believe that, you know, these people, they was putting up with this. I think they was getting paid more before in the early 2000s and late 1990s than they are right now, due to streaming and the internet. But basically, wow, they want to overwork these people and not pay them they do right pay. And that's unfair.
Sony, for instance, just announced that its profit will drop this year because of the ongoing strike.
All right, Scott Roxborough joins me for more. Scott, the head of the Writers Guild previously said that the union would not return to negotiations unless the studios were willing to discuss this issue of residual payments on streaming services, something that the studios had said was effectively off the table. Does the fact that they're meeting today signal that this strike is actually already having some success?
Well, yes, I would say that the fact that they are going back to the negotiating table suggests that the Writers Guild is starting to win its argument with the studios, and not that they've been beaten down or being sort of forced back to the negotiating table. There's been a huge amount of solidarity and support for this strike within the entertainment community, not least from the actors, who of course are also currently on strike. So that puts a lot of pressure on the studios to find a solution and to negotiate. That said, I think the two sides here are still miles apart in terms of demands. So while it is perhaps a good sign for the union.
Listen, man, it don't matter if this a union, corporate greed. Wall Street runs Hollywood, so Wall Street is definitely, if they don't want to give them more, they're not going to give them more. Wall Street is a hard corporation to beat, even if you take them to court and break down their monopolies. Like Disney, that owns like 30% of the internet, basically, where all these streaming platforms, and all them type of, there's more, like Warner Bros. And others, Sony. And honestly, it's unfair, but, you know, I never cared, you know, when this first happened, when this news first happened, I never cared, because I'm thinking it's not going to affect me, but it is going to affect me in the future, especially as I'm an aspiring, you know, entrepreneur. And it doesn't affect me, and it affects me even if I'm not an entrepreneur, even if I'm a consumer watching Netflix or watching my favorite anime show, it's going to affect me, because then they're going to, thank God, in Japan, they're not dealing with this, but here, if you like want to watch your favorite show, your favorite Stranger Things, if there's a new season coming out, they're going to pause everything. And as they should, you feel me? I just watched this video. Let's see if I should watch it again.
Sick of hiring setters that barely book calls.
We'll be looking at this podcast, Pod Save America. I hope you subscribe to them. They talk about a lot of political stuff and about the industry.
everyone. Hi. I'll give you a few minutes to hop on.
This video right now, look, she's an actor, Cynthia Nixon. Never heard about her. Oh, she's either an actor or she works in the industry, and she's gonna explain why writer strikes is so important to the future creative artists. Same shit I said earlier. It's important for YouTubers, TikTokers, anybody that makes video, that makes script, they're trying to be like some sort of artist. Either like artists like anime, or artists in like making music, or artists in painting, any type of artist or creative industry, like content creators, like they gotta tune in and they gotta go against what's going on. We gotta be with those workers, with those writers in Hollywood that's fighting Hollywood. Cause if not, we're doomed.
Appreciate you hopping on this Instagram Live, Cynthia, because I know it's been 1 week and I wanted actually to cover this on the first day, but I think it's great to be able to get your perspective about what's going on and sort of how Hollywood is responding to a really, I wouldn't say unprecedented, but it hasn't happened, I guess, Cynthia, since 1960, when the actors and the writers went on strike. So I thought it would be super helpful to my followers to talk.
Newsflash, you don't need IT certifications to earn 6 figures in tech. I know you've been told if you...
Hollywood has shut down after the Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA joined the Writers Guild of America in a strike. Now, it's been more than 60 years since actors joined writers in a strike with the hopes of improving working conditions, securing better pay, and in this particular case, ensuring that there's proper rules, regulations, and oversight on AI technology used in the industry. Now, here to give us an update on what is happening on the ground is actor James Cromwell. James, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, thank you.
I wanted to start off by asking you to kind of explain to the viewers, for anyone who might not be privy to the details of this story, why the actors have decided to join the writers in this historic strike.
Gore Vidal once said, "We are the United States of amnesia. We learn nothing because we remember nothing." A corollary to that might be we are a country not with amnesia, but with dementia. We remember nothing because most of us drank the Kool-Aid. Back in the 2008 negotiations with the AMPTP, that's the producers, they used the negotiations as a subterfuge to allow themselves to develop and optimize streaming video, similar to the way Napster had done with music before their errand boys in Congress shut it down completely. The producers claimed that the streaming technology was so new, they couldn't tell whether it was financially viable or even practicable. And so if SAG agreed to the extension of the current arrangement for the next 4 years, at the end of that contract, they would open their books and negotiate equitable compensation justified by the current economics of the emerging field. So for 4 years, they made money hand over fist, and they never did open their books, and we're still bargaining now over streaming platforms. However, as you said, the new 600-pound gorilla in the room is definitely AI. This may be the last negotiations we have with the AMPTP if we do not win some kind of controls and rules about the use of AI, because if AI takes over, the industry will be incredibly loath to backpedal and pay.
The AI later on, maybe in 5-7 years, they are gonna take over. But right now they can't, cause they can't make quality content that that everybody could simulate to. They can't make content that everybody could get emotional, can have. It's making content and like being funny and all that has a specific energy that when you make great content with good sketches and the script is good, you know what I'm saying? It connects with the audience. AI can't do none of that. It could make scripts, it could make videos, but it's not gonna be as good as a real human doing it. a group of human doing it, it's not gonna be as good. And it's gonna be like washed out cartoons. If they make a cartoon fully with AI, voice actors, artists, everything, it's gonna be like AI is gonna copy what people done before, like the old cartoons and no thing. It's gonna be like shady, and it's not gonna feel right. It's gonna feel emotionless, with no emotion. It's gonna feel. You feel me? And even if the AI trying to make some jokes, AI is not good at jokes. It's not good at humor. That's something only humans could do. So it's like that's one problem AI can do, and it's like AI can do like certain things, like just like that problem that humans could do perfectly.
People
They trying to with the AI, they're not trying to take people's job, but they're trying to decrease people's pay and make them work more hours because they feel like their creative art is not worth as much no more due to AI, but it actually is worth, and it's worth more due to AI. Because AI could enhance the productivity of a songwriter, of a screenwriter, of anybody that's in the entertainment industry, including a content creator, a video photographer, and all that.
Compensation for the job that they're not doing.
Anyways, like this
AI
video
is completing for them.
In fact, there's been some reporting indicating that the studios would like to have the extras sign over rights to their likeness for a one-time payment, and the deal would indicate that their likeness would be used forever after that point without any future payment. So,
Wow, that's crazy. You hear what they said? The background actors, the actors just be there. They say like 2-3 lines and be in the background. They're gonna pay them it's called extras in the movie scene. The extras, they're gonna pay them a little more for they could scan their body, and basically use their body as background for life, a license for life. And I bet they're gonna do that, and they're not even gonna charge people a lot. It's gonna be like for $200-300. I'm not gonna license my whole body, my whole skin repletion, my whole me, for just with $200, a whole life insurance. Like it's like a whole life policy until you die. Nah. It's not worth it.
Mentioning that gorilla in the room is a good point to make here. So Jake, do you want to jump in?
Yeah. So James, thank you for joining us again. You and I have had a lot of great conversations, but in this case, we have complications. So when the executives plead poverty, it's absurd, right? At the same time, media is splintering. So in the old days, we had everybody would go to the same movie, and that movie would make an ungodly amount of money. There were 3 network channels in the beginning, and everybody in the country just watched 3 channels. Now there are thousands and thousands of options, and so each individual entity does potentially make less money. So putting aside the crocodile tears of the executives, how do we tackle the major issue here, which is that the industry has changed overall? And so how can the actors, writers, etc.
By adapting, by giving the people the right pay and adapting to the new system and the new protocols. And if the old system is not working, then y'all create a new one. They gotta make sure this business, billion-dollar entertainment business, movies and TV shows and etc. They gotta have equity for everybody to get a piece of that. I don't want to see like my favorite actor, my favorite TV show, going broke all over a sudden. And there's a lot of stories like the Disney actors going broke after they ran out of money and stuff like that. And I'm like, how? You started in the show, the multi-million dollar show, they made millions and they went viral plenty of times. How can you be broke?
It just in a way that maintains the equitable structure that we need, while still recognizing that the industry is a little bit different.
Well, the industry is really not that much different, except in the distribution of more product than they've ever had on platforms that are now available that were not available.
Even recently, they canceled the Cartoon Network headquarters, studio headquarters. That shit made me so sad.
As a content creator, it can be really time consuming to do research for my videos. But now I can get these summaries.
These are my favorite era. My favorite era of cartoon and animation, the early 2000s when I was young.
It's the end of an era, and no, I'm not okay. Back in 2000, this became
Also,
the
hey,
home of
YouTube. Subscribe. Every channel that I just did
Cartoon
a
Network
reaction video
Studios.
to.
While the basic white building in Burbank doesn't seem like...
Subscribe, alright? Subscribe to this guy. His YouTube channel, his name is Valsky Bum. Valsky Bum. Like a Russian retarded name, but subscribe to this guy.
much on the outside, the amount of pop culture created inside would basically go on to change everything. Over the years, an unbelievably talented group of people would roam these halls and work on some of the most iconic shows in Western animation. This building was a space for creativity, for people who wanted nothing more than to make something special and to drive the medium of animation forward. While this was the main spot of Cartoon Network Studios for more than 20 years, all good things need to end eventually. Over the past few months, there have been small hints here and there about the emptiness of the building, but now we pretty much have confirmation. Over on Twitter, here's what former studio manager Brian A. Miller had to say. Sadly, this building will no longer be CNS. From what I've been told, everyone will be out by August 1st, all moving together in a WB building as one animation unit. Farewell CNS as it was. If anyone wants me, I'm just gonna go to a corner and cry for the next few hours.
Oh, Gary, why did you have to go? Why, Gary? Why?
Anyway, a bunch of show creators and crew members came forward to reflect on their experience. OKKO creator Ian JQ said, "I'm gonna miss this place." Gumball creator Ben Bouquet dropped a salute. Same. Uncle Grandpa creator Pete Browncart mentioned that he spent 11 years at this place. Gonna miss it. Codename Kids Next Door creator Mr. Warburton said, "Oof, what an honor to get to make the Candy pilot there amongst all the CN legends. So many good memories there."
Wow.
Here's how Powerpuff Girls creator...
Man, that shit is getting me tight. Damn, man. So, when it comes to like networks and stuff, like you know, anime networks, certain TV shows and stuff, streaming, Netflix and Hollywood is destroying all this
Craig
shit.
McCracken responded. When
crazy,
CN
man.
told us
They
they were
gonna
opening
leave
their own
us with
studio,
nothing
they
but
asked
reruns.
Andy and I to help pick the building and make design suggestions on what we wanted for the interior workspaces. So I can honestly say this is a place I felt I helped build. It's sad to see it go. Now, with the end of the original Cartoon Network Studios building, we're also saying goodbye to an important piece of history. Not just the fact that some of your favorite shows were made here, but like the physical space of the stairwell. Throughout the 23 years, incredible creators would leave their mark on the wall to last for future generations.
It's fun to dream about the next generation of characters to be drawn on these walls.
Wow, oh my god, that's fucking cool. They had the artists, anybody that was working there, you make their little art there, leave their little stamp, their logo, their legacy there, like, oh, this probably motivated people too.
Networks, future stars, right here tomorrow.
And
No matter how much time passed, you'd be able to see what came before and what those people brought to the building. The legacy of every CN property and everyone who drew a single mark here lived on. Now, that's over. Of course, this begs the question, what's going on with Cartoon Network Studios? I mean, according to news reports, they're moving into a new building with Warner Bros. Animation. Does that mean the studio itself is merging with WBA? Not necessarily. I can't tell you all the answers because I honestly don't know, and we may not know for a while, but I do know that things moving forward won't be the same as they once were. It's been fun, but rest in peace, Cartoon Network Studios building. I just hope people never forget how special you were. But anyway, that's all for this video. Subscribe for more awesome cartoon
Rest
videos.
in peace, Cartoon
Give a thumbs
Network.
up and comment below to...
They shut the network down. Mad shit that they shutting down. Hollywood, people that make shows, they're having a protest.
Living in New York means believing that a front yard is a state of mind.
And you're just acting like a child! I am a child. What's your excuse?
Oh no! I don't think it's a stretch to say that if you consume any form of media that you end up enjoying, as rare as that looks these days, you've been burned at one point or another by an ending that really didn't meet your expectations. Whether it's story-focused or completely episodic, a show, movie, or video game can very easily miss the mark when they have to wrap everything they've built up with one last hurrah. Maybe the pacing is rushed and they usher so many plot points and arcs out the door half-baked that the ending loses all of its impact. Maybe there's a catastrophic collapse in consistency of the show's established rules and world building. Tonal clashes, conflicting themes, misguided interests, emotional beats feeling sloppy and unearned. Look, we can play this game all day, but the point is, I really hate Star vs. the Force. I really hate bad endings, and I'm sure you do as well. And if you're looking for a bad ending factory, then look no further than the world of animation, specifically when it comes to Western cartoons. I'm only choosing not to count anime because, Christ, where would I begin there? There are
The Hollywood strike is serious. It's been going on already for like 5 months. By me making this video, I'm spreading awareness. By me doing this live right now, I'm spreading awareness. Please like this video. And we need more people to talk about this. We need more YouTubers to talk about the situation, what's going on in Hollywood. Even though 99% of us don't care, but I kind of get I kind of see the bigger picture. If you're smart and you see the bigger picture, protest, man. Go against them. Do reaction videos about this and talk about this on your social platforms. Also, like this video.
What's gotten us to this place is the rug was pulled out from under writers and to a degree actors in the last 10, 15 years. It's the advent of streaming, the golden age of television.
One of the first streaming original shows was House of Cards. Spoiler alert, when they pushed Kate Mara in front of that train, it seemed like groundbreaking television. And it was fast-paced, and it looked beautiful, and it had huge stars.
Artistically, it's opened up the world. Maybe there used to be 80 shows in a year. Now you're up to 500, 550 shows in a year. And for writers, it was good because it gave people entry.
And a lot of those people were diverse young voices who Hollywood said, oh, you should come out to move to LA or New York, places where the cost of living is extremely high and you have a seat at the table, that for years created careers for people. Now, it doesn't exist like that anymore.
And what's the difference between a network show?
She's mad. She's mad. A lot of people in the industry is mad because they're not making as much as they thought they was gonna make. Shaking my hand. They all should have became YouTubers and grown their own audience and their own platform, you know, and still done that inside. For they could not rely on that. But me as an actor, or as anybody, or as a producer, or as a writer, or as a backup writer, I'm gonna make sure I get my good percentage. Because I'm gonna negotiate. I'm gonna have my lawyers talk to their lawyers and make sure my deal is good. Sweet like butter.
In a streaming show. Network is the TV we all grew up with. ABC, NBC, CBS. And it's the season that begins in September and runs 22 episodes and ends in May. That's a season, especially for procedurals that everyone knows, like Grey's Anatomy or CSI. TV seasons always began in September And that had something to do with auto sales, by the way. The new car seasons came out, and they were going to advertise heavily, so you wanted new TV.
The network model worked for a very long time and gave people a stable career.
I broke in on Law & Order Criminal Intent. I was on staff there 4 years, became showrunner there. So you get paid by the episode or by the week. They said you'll make $15,000, and I thought that was it. I didn't know they meant for every episode. I didn't understand what I'd stumbled into. So I was able to make a living, start raising a family in New York. I think those doors have closed now.
What?
So the upside of streaming creatively was you didn't have to worry about commercial breaks. If I write an SVU, we have 5 commercial breaks in an hour of TV. Something has to happen at the end of that act to make sure people come back. Your writing has to conform to the advertising that pays for it. If you write for streaming, you don't have to worry about commercial breaks. You get to write a different structure. Maybe it's just an organic 3-act structure to an hour. Now you're down to 8-episode runs, 6 episodes.
Now he's going to start
shorter seasons where you could arc a story across 8 episodes. You can go a little darker, you can go a little deeper. That part of it was great, and writers from movies flocked to it, and novels flocked to it.
But as the episode orders have shrunk, what used to be 40 weeks out of the year that you were working is now 20 weeks. So try having to go from finding 1 job a year to finding multiple jobs a year to maintain the same status quo that you previously had. It's tough.
I don't think anyone's asking to go back to 20-episode seasons, but the stability and the longevity of those jobs is the model that we're asking for and that we think is best for writers and best for the product.
Can you explain what's changed, how the writer's room looks different?
The function of the writer's room is the exact same. Like, it is a group.
Look at right here, YouTube. She's about to break down how a TV show or movie is made.
Group of writers coming together to break story, to craft a season, and to write episodes of television. When you get your first job writing on a TV show, you're almost always a staff writer, which
You start in the bottom.
lowest level in the room, and then the next rung on the ladder is story editor, from story editor to executive story editor, co-producer, producer.
And that's how you get up the branch in the entertainment world. But you gotta start from the bottom. But man, I'm not trying to start from the bottom. I'm starting from the bottom here. I'm trying to, once I break out here, I'm trying to go straight to Hollywood, you know? Meet some people, maybe produce my own anime, maybe do some voice acting.
Supervising producer, co-executive producer, and then executive producer is the highest, and showrunner, obviously.
The creative process is people coming together, having a conversation about, is it a dark comedy, is it 1 hour, is it a half hour?
Breaking story and really writing your whole season. The next phase is production.
Writer's room, production, post-production, everything. That's what everything it takes. They make it sound simple, but it's really hard and it's really complicated. And there's a lot of team and a lot of specialized people there doing all the things. But yet, none of them get paid enough. Who gets paid? The 2% of actors, the Tom Cruise, the Denzel Washington, people like that get paid. Us, regular people, they get paid checks, but it's like a job.
You bring all of your crew together, bring all of your actors, grab your directors, and you shoot the TV show. And then the final stage is post-production. When you take that thing you shot, you sit with your editor, turn it into what people see on TV.
Broadcast shows kind of used to be the entire TV space. So if you were on a show like Law & Order SVU, or if you were on a show like Friends, your show was being filmed, it was in production concurrently while you were in the writer's room.
Writers are going back and forth and really learning the ropes of what it is to produce a TV show. You know, and it might be in the moment when you're watching a scene and an actor might come up to you and say, like, this line just isn't working for me. The job of the writer at that moment is to talk to the actor, figure out what isn't working, and write them a new line.
The writer is working with the actor at all times. He's conjuring the character, he's meeting the actor that was cast, and should be there when that actor is giving life to those words.
Financially, of course it would cost studios to keep writers on and to pay those extra weeks to keep doing their job. It seems like their favorite place to cut the budget is with writers, robbing them of creativity and robbing them of people training up to be the showrunners of future shows.
writers are now being separated from production, employed for fewer weeks.
Fewer weeks means less income. And when a show like Game of Thrones costs so much money and takes so much time to make, that's a longer period of time between seasons. And so that means these writers have a longer period of time before they are employed again.
Story-wise, there is something nice about having all of your episodes written before you start to produce. It really gives you a nice scope of the season. You know where all your locations are going to be. And if something happens in the last episode of your season that you realize there's a nice way to plant earlier in the season, you can go and play with that episode. On the other hand, not having your writers continue to be there and do the work that happens in production hurts the production and it hurts the writers.
There was this staff writer who was on The Bear, which is a streaming show on Hulu, and he had a story about how after working in this room, even though it was this critically acclaimed show and they were winning an award, he went to the award show broke and had to...
This is the actor she's talking about, Alex O'Keefe. Working as a staff writer, I was still broke, still on Medicaid. The studio wouldn't fly me out to the writer's room in LA, so I worked from my Brooklyn apartment. My heat was out that pandemic winter. My space heater below the lights. I worked on 8 episodes from a library. God damn.
Rent a bow tie.
And he's
What
one of the
I thought was
Hollywood
so
workers
interesting
employees.
about
They treat them
that
niggas like
story
scums.
Was that it wasn't
It's a money grab. Everything is a money
pay
grab.
per se that was the issue in that situation. It was the length of the
TV
room.
networking
So
gotta
you went
get
from
back
having
to
40 weeks.
TV networking gotta get back to how it was in the early 90s and early 2000s.
Weeks of guaranteed work to maybe 8 to 10.
Contracts, price hikes, surprises.
That's a lot of yada yada.
Correct! I knew it! But when you join Metro, there's nada yada yada.
It is always very difficult to work in our industry. Writers, directors, actors often have long stretches of idle time.
Periods where your eye...
And if you want to watch this video, the YouTube channel is called Vox. How streaming caused the TV writer strike. Streaming did cause it, but it wasn't just streaming. It's the Hollywood elites. It's their greed.
Either looking
They're greedy.
for your next job,
They ain't trying
the
to
next
split
room
that
you're
pie in
gonna
an
go right
equal
in, or
way.
the next
They want to
feature
keep
that you're
all the
gonna
extra
pitch.
revenue for
Residual
themselves.
checks are what let you do that.
Residuals, which are how actors
Residuals.
and writers tied themselves over during lean times, have basically been decimated. When TV first began, there was a big strike in 1960, and that strike resulted in writers getting residuals. The reason my network residual is so healthy is because that was negotiated a long time ago when that was the only other way an episode could be rewatched. If you wrote for Friends or Seinfeld, these shows that are on all the time,
Every single
you
time it's
rich if
used,
you on
you
one of
get a
those
check.
shows.
the number of runs your show has, the size of the check decreases. The show is generating income for NBC Universal, and so you will see some of that income. Now streaming comes in, and there's a terrible formula based on a percentage of the sale from the studio to the streamer.
So it sits on the platform for a year and you get one check no matter how many times it's watched.
If you write a show for Hulu, you get paid to write it, and you might see $400 for the next 3 years, as opposed to a network rerun, which might be, for an hour show, might be $24,000.
I have talked to fellow writers who came up years before.
These 50 cent
and it
chips,
was the
the
difference
popcorn, I like it. That shit bust.
buying a house or not, between sending your kid
Good cheese
to
50
school
cent
or
chip
not,
with cheese,
and,
cheese popcorn.
and for me it just seems
Cheese
like
flavor.
this pipe dream of getting residuals for the work that I've done.
Due to inflation, they made even the chips bag smaller. Everything smaller. Even in Hollywood, they're trying to cut pay. The writers pay everything smaller. What? For they could maximize their profits. Profit hungry motherfuckers. Fuck Hollywood. Fuck the industry. Fuck the government. Nah, I'm just playing with you. But yeah, when we see injustices, we gotta stand we gotta stand by and unite and go against all of this. Because if not, as people, we're doomed.
This strike seems to be catching fire because it mirrors the discontent a lot of workers feel about this yawning wage gap between the top and the bottom.
Secondarily, but correlated, is that it's about the art that we're making. And if we're not given the time and the resources that we need to make good television, you're not going to have the diversity of voices, the diversity of ideas.
I think that we want to make sure that art isn't coming from only voices who can afford to do this as a job.
I got into writing because I was an actor and still am.
I worked on The Adventures of Puss in Boots, Trolls, The Beat Goes On.
Channel Zero for Sci-Fi. I did a bunch of CBS procedurals, and most recently I was the showrunner of One of Us is Lying on Peacock.
Law and Order Criminal Intent. Then I went to In Treatment and did a show called Lights Out for FX. And then I wandered back into the Law and Order family and went to SVU.
Tell me, what do you think about all this?
Avnet is one of the largest technology solution provider focusing on.
What do you think about all this, about what's going on with the writer strike? Do you think they're gonna ever, do you think the Hollywood's gonna give them a pay increase and it's gonna work out these situations? Or are they gonna be there for another year, another 2 years? It's crazy. This is gonna affect every streaming platform, Hulu, Netflix, TV, cable, everything. It's gonna affect anybody in the television business. And I say, go for it. It's about time you get your right deserved money. Especially for the producers and writers that write the script and the artists that create the art. You know what I'm saying? They deserve their pay cut, not just Tom and Denzel, not just the elites. Anyways, like this video and I'm gonna see you soon.